Hey, my name is Marco. I'm an opera singer. I love talking about video game music from an emotional perspective after a decade on the stage. Today we're checking out Lumière from, I hate that I did that, Lumière from Clair, Obscur Expedition 33. If you're interested in seeing my full playthrough and reactions to the music and the gameplay, there is a playlist for you here. This is going to be very in-depth and very detailed, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy this particular piece. Here we go. So, before we get into the vocals of this, which are sumptuous and really perfect, the thing we have to understand is the pits. Boom, 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 boom. We're just plucking the strings there. And what that ends up doing is it gives us a sense of space. Imagine if it was yada ya, yada ya, yada ya, yada ya. We're not doing that. What we're doing is bum bum pyum, bum bum pyum. So it's short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long. And what that does is it creates a sense of anticipation. It creates a sense of a little bit of maybe even discomfort. Now, Lumière is a city that has been separated from the continent. They are living in their own, essentially, their own little bubble. There's a quality in this music of deep, deep, deep anticipation and almost an unrest. Even though it's a beautiful city, nothing is as it seems. There's a sense of discomfort in it, isn't there? Of course, we hear this at the beginning of the Gommage. When Gustave says farewell to Sophie, I mean, gosh, the sense of sadness within that sound is palpable. And I think that having it be pits versus long sustained bowing makes an enormous difference in that delivery. Then on top of that, we get this absolutely beautiful singing by Alice Duport-Percier. And this also is so wonderful because it almost sounds like bells. Din don, vacant. Like that whole thing is all like, again, it leans into it, and we'll stop as we get further. See, there's the legato. I was talking about that, right? The elegance there, the sort of, it's very languid. It's very somber at the same time. It goes up and it goes down, kind of like a cycle. It's a circle. And if we think about it, the paintress every year removes someone from life. Yada, 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 yada. Maybe someday we'll find hope with that expedition. We always end up doing the same thing over and over, right? Yada, 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 yada. I find that interesting. Obviously, it's not a cycle. It's not a circle. It's just a straight line up and a straight line down. But either way, it still comes up and it comes down. Sort of sense of climax and resolution. A little bit more energy in this part, a little bit of a crescendo, ever so slightly. Now we double. Natural building and crescendo. Building. Clair obscur. And really, what the sense of being is explaining what's happening, you know. Et Gustave dom gordium, dim lutek sera dolium. That's not French. Is that in French? Trouble de rature courbera à Eiffel. Gardeo peniture trouvera sans elle. Some of this is French. Trouble de rature. Wait, is this one of those things where I actually didn't know this? Is this a mix? Anyway, I really love the part where, you know, again, we're trading short notes with long notes, and it's just delightful. It's a delightful balance of short, long. And then we really build to that Clair, Obscur, and really, you know, that's when we talk about the mixture of light and dark. Clair, obscur, da-da-dum, bum, bum, yi-da-da, le-fa. Clair, obscur, da-da-dum, dum, dum, di-da-da, di-da-da. Right, like that to me is like the crux of really kind of the whole game, weirdly. But like, hear me out, like Clair, obscur, chiaroscuro, light and dark, right? That's life. We have light moments and we have dark moments. And in this particular section, Clair, obscur, so we have this real kind of moving tempo. That's the legato part. But what we end up getting is like this like constant push and pull. Right. And that's life. We're sometimes we're being pushed and sometimes we're being pulled. And sometimes things are really heavy and awful and difficult. And then other times are really light. They're pizzicato, they're bright, they're bouncy, they're energetic. And then other times we have this languid legato in our lives. And I think like in a lot of ways, this kind of fits that. I also love the natural crescendo that we have throughout this entire piece as we're building to that da-dum, da-da-dum, dum, dum, da-da-da, and then even there, it's a Clair, obscur. Notice how it's short, long, right? It's really cool. While we have the strings supporting that with the legato. And that's fun to me because the guitar underneath, which is also such a wonderful, and I know Lorient plays the guitar, the composer. So we have the guitar moving with the vocals. And then on top of that, underneath that, I should say, we have the strings that are sustaining it, you know, and the strings sustaining it give it that body, that buoyancy to then allow the vocals to kind of dance, to sing, to express the, man, life is kind of hard, you know what I mean? I just love that phrase. The turn of phrase there is really exceptional. And what a genius shift there. Yeah, I mean, that's divine. To pull back, so it's interesting because the piano in this upper register here has this real, I mean, the whole game is kind of depressing, right? The whole thing is just sad. People cry at the prologue, you cry at the middle, you cry at the end, you cry at the beginning, you cry at the, you know, randomly walking around in the overworld because the overworld theme is like kind of depressing as well, but also beautiful at the same time. Like there's so much sadness through, like there's a lightness to this, especially in her singing. But there's also a heft in the way that the like melody actually is. And then so using the piano here, listen to how gorgeous this is. So the space in that, it's almost like sighing or like catching your breath, like Clair, oh, it's like, wow, God, am I hyperventilating? You know, like, oh my God, like life is slipping through my fingers, you know? Clair, la. And then we kind of catch ourselves. Clair, obscur, you know what I mean? Like, no, actually, maybe it's not so bad. And then, it's always going back to that sort of root chord. A little bit of hope in there, right? And then the hum. Don't underestimate how powerful a hum can be. There's an entire chorus, the butterfly of humming chorus, that is exquisite. at producing an emotion. We do not need words to create a sense of emotion. Listen to the way listen to this hum. Listen again. Like, ask yourself, what does that mean to me? What do I feel? It's like, feels like almost like giving up, or like relinquishing power, or a sense of like an admission of emptiness. Right? It's empty. And then we're like, actually, Clair, obscur, la nuit au pain, tu trouveras sans elle. Clair, obscur, la nuit au pain, tu trouveras les feux. Clair, obscur, la nuit au pain, tu trouveras sans elle. And honestly, you could argue that this song is actually the song of Sophie and Gustave. I mean, there you have a female singer and a male singer. In that moment, he says something about trouvera without her, with her, without her. Trouvera sans elle, without her. You find without her, sans, without. And to me, this is the fact that, I don't feel this is spoilers, but this is essentially like, in the prologue, we find out that they were broken up due to ideological differences around children and having children, and what it means to be a parent in a world that, your child may only get to spend 5-10 years with you, 10, 15, who knows, like a very short amount of time. And then they'll be eventually orphaned and have to enter into the foster system. And so to me, the two singers coming together and singing Clair Obscur, which is, lightness and darkness, I think really symbolizes the struggle of couples, or the struggle of people to live as normally as possible, despite the fact that every year that countdown happens and death is inevitable. And it's inevitable for all of us, right? But like in this particular case, it's very known, right? And it begs the question, how would you live your life if you knew that you were going to die tomorrow or in a year, right? And I find it interesting how there are still glimmers of joy within this song, of beauty, but there's also an overriding sense of loss. And we get that empty space, and we get the beautiful legato strings, which show us that life is still happening. The legato is life, right? But the staccato is the like abrupt end of it in some ways. And I find that just mesmerizingly beautiful. Now the cello takes over, gorgeous. Nice, beautiful duet there with the violin. Beautiful accompaniment by the guitar. Not often an instrument that we see in an accompaniment form, which is really beautiful to hear. That death sound, right? I just want to talk about that really quickly. There's no oh, it's au clair, obscur, trouvera. So it's very note specific. It's not clair, obscur, trouvera. It's not that. It's so note precise. It's not like excessive. It doesn't like overdo it. It's very specific. And in that case, that is a matter of a fact statement. Au clair, obscur, trouvera tant. This is what I want you to understand and hear. Short, emphatic, pointed. It's dope. Clair obscur, la mer au pendant tu verras sans elle. Clair obscur, ma mer au tu trouveras les faits.
Très obscur de l'automne tu verras sans cesse.
I adore when the chorus comes in because the chorus represents the other citizens of Lumière. It's the people of Lumière. It's the people of the Gommage. It's the expeditioners. It's the children. It's the parents. It's the life. It's the life lost. It's the life yet to be lost. It's the life yet to even be born. It's a strong sound, and you'll forgive me for singing there. It's just so beautiful. And then we pull back, and then we get back to this guitar. Again, pits, very upper register of the piano. Gorgeous melody. A slow roll to the end. And then it doesn't go... It kind of continues on. It kind of continues to move towards that gommage, towards what the future even has in store. I mean, I'm obsessed with Clair Obscur. It's probably like one of the best games I've ever played. I mean, it certainly is. It reminds me so much of my childhood, and as an adult, I've spoken about how seen I have been. I've felt so seen by this game. As an adult who's lost his father, you know, played games for so many years, like it all feels connected, and it's just exceptional. Let me know which tracks, I mean, it's an 8-hour soundtrack, what tracks you want me to talk about, because there's so many awesome things to talk about, and each song, I have my own list. I'd love to have yours as well. Or, shit, I just do the whole soundtrack. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks a ton, and I'll see you later.